Hey everybody, this is Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong, and I have a new journal I wanted to share. I love this journal so much. I know I say that about so many of them, but I've spent quite a few days just working on this journal and thinking about it, so I think you just fall in love with your journals by the time it's over with. This journal is called Lovely, and it is because it has so many pretty little scraps in it. It's very grungy, it's very scrappy. On the outside you can see that there's a lot of white, a lot of cotton, a lot of cream color, and I want to show you just a couple of things on the outside. This is a charm that I got at work recently. I purchased this. We got quite a few of these in, so I bought several of these. Now, I didn't make this, so I don't know. It looks like it'll hold up pretty nicely. It's basically just some bolts, it looks like, through a cork, and then they've put the little charms on here. So I tied a piece of this heavy cord through it and put it on a safety pin and just pinned it to the spine of the journal. And then on the binding, which is this hemp cord that I like to use, there are a couple of really loosely tied charms. You could see that you would be able to untie that if you wanted to. Just in case you want to put something different on here, that's just a little flat charm that looks like a lock, and we have one of these pretty old keys. I love the design in that. It looks kind of Victorian, although I know that's not a Victorian key. It's just really pretty. This is just tied with a piece of cotton fabric, and I stitched some of the velvet leaves to that, as well as some flower petals and a piece of lace. On the front, there are a lot of layers of vintage doilies, vintage lace, little pieces from spreads and tablecloths. I recently bought a lot of vintage lace, and there are a few pieces that are sewn to the outside of this. You can actually see some rust stains on this lace if you look closely. I love that. And then this came from a linen shirt. It was just where the buttons went along the front. It's got a little stain there. There's a bird stamped there. I love how they look when they fade. And this is a really, really pretty heavy charm that I put on the front. I don't think that it is silver. I think it's just metal. At any rate, it is lovely. It's got a metal loop across the back where the string went right through it, so you could take that off if you wanted to and use it for something else. Getting inside the journal, there's going to be a lot of room for you to work in this. You could keep it like it is and just enjoy the grunge, the pretty colors. It's kind of shabby. You could also turn this into a beautiful keepsake. Just put your little pieces of found treasures, artwork. You could put stamps in this, postage stamps. You know, it's just a journal for you to work in. Most of the things in here are old. I did have a book that had some really pretty images. It was a Crabtree and Evelyn that had a lot of ideas about using herbs and things from the garden. So I just tucked a few little torn pages from that in here. But when I pull this away, you can see the base of the journal is really grungy and it's really distressed. There's a lot of paint, a lot of ink, and gesso and things like that. A little bit of gold paint on that image. And then we start to get into where the pages are just nicely distressed. There's some stamping. There are some beautiful old book pages in here. In fact, some of these pages are, there are a few of these pages in each of those paper kits that I just listed. That's from that old French encyclopedia. So you can see the distressing. I'm just going to flip through this. I don't want to take too much of your time. The pages have a lot of work in them, and you know, it's hard to see sometimes the amount of work because you're looking at just the page overall, but it does take time to stamp the acrylic paint, to distress all the pages and let the pages dry. I love this. Love the way that one turned out. And then we have this beautiful scrapbook paper over here with the roses, and there is vintage lace with the piece of canvas underneath. And a lot of lace tabs in this one. This is just a little page that flips up. You could write under that. I love this washi tape. It's all about coffee, and I think it fits in just because of the whimsy and the theme and the type of person that I know would love this type of journal. I did use some acrylic paint on this side to tone it down a little bit. So we have some fabric on the near the spine on this page. More flower petals, more fabric, more distressing. I love that beautiful paper. Here's just a piece of lace sewn across the top of this page. There is a pretty little bird there. More distressing. Let's see. Oh, I love this paper. And look at the lace along there. This staining was already in the lace. I did not do that. And I think it's just absolutely beautiful. There are some butterfly wings that came off of a, it looked like it had been part of a flower or a charm. Jay, you might have sent that to me in some happy mail. I took the plastic part off and just put that right into the book. A little square of fabric there, or rectangle, I should say. More beautiful paper. And I love this page. So this pocket, again, this came from part of a linen blouse. That is where the tag is. I am forever young, 100% linen, and there's the extra button there. More pretty pages. A lot of distressing. This book is pretty to look at just because of the distressing. Just the grunge, just to look at it and see just the contrast and the white and the stained parts. This is a flower petal. So just one petal there. That is from one of the digitals I have in my shop. Those are some 1860s journal pages that I scanned. More pretty paper. Then here we are at the center of the book, and you can see these charms here. You could pull those around to the center if you wanted to do that. I kind of like them on the outside. Oops. And you can see a lot of room for you to work. This is one of the plainest pages in here, and it's still just really pretty with the distressing. More old pages. There's a piece of fabric that you can flip up, and right underneath, that's a really old piece of lace there. There is a little scrappy pocket there with a piece of paper from a calendar that's been distressed a little bit. Love the little bird and the pink on that page. So this pocket is glued down, and then I sewed the tab along the edge there. More distressing, more pretty paper. Just love that paper so much. And you can see the stamp with some very, very pale pink acrylic paint mixture. There's a piece of that old lace. I mean, this lace, you can basically just pull it apart. I laid a piece just on the page there, and there's some more of the lace that has the what looks like rust stain. And another piece of that. Another tab. This journal is a really good mix of grungy and shabby. It's a piece of wallpaper there. So you can see there's a lot of room for you to add your touch to this, or keep it like it is. This would make a beautiful wedding book for people to write messages to the bride. This could be so many things. There's another little bird. There is an old negative. It shows some trees. It's just kind of almost a forlorn looking image. It looks like it might be on the edge of some water, maybe a lake. And then some more images from that old French encyclopedia. More lace. And then back at the back, here is another page from that Crabtree and Evelyn with the herbs. And there is another page from that, room scenting. So there's the word lovely stamped again. You can see where it faded a tiny bit. I could not resist putting this in. I'm not sure where these came from originally. We had some of these envelopes come in at work, so I purchased one of these, and I thought it was such a pretty shaker to put the little seashells in there. So that is in the back. There's another stained, distressed pocket. And let's put that back in there. And then we're all the way to the back with your charms on the outside. So this journal was just listed, and the shipping is included in the price. I'm going to start on another one of these right away, so hopefully I will have another one done in the next few days. We shall see. There's a lot going on. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.